If I could only teach you one thing, just one lesson powerful enough to shape your entire life, it would be the understanding that everything begins inside you long before it shows up outside. Most people spend their lives trying to fix circumstances, people, opportunities, failures, losses, and challenges, but they never pause long enough to realize that the real battlefield is not the world around them but the world within them. This story begins with an ordinary day, the same routines, the same expectations, the same disappointments, until one moment of clarity arrives and divides life into before and after. Imagine waking up with the feeling that something is missing, that you've been pushing, striving, running, but never truly understanding why. That inner emptiness is not a sign of weakness, it is the first sign of awakening. It is life tapping your shoulder and asking you to look inward. Because the one thing, yes, the one thing that shapes everything you will ever achieve is the meaning you attach to your experiences. Change the meaning, and you change the future. Change the story you tell yourself, and your entire destiny reshapes itself. That is the beginning of transformation, the beginning of the journey that teaches you that real power was never missing, only misplaced. When I discovered this truth, it was not during a moment of victory but in a moment of absolute uncertainty. You may think breakthroughs arrive with fireworks, applause, or celebration, but most breakthroughs arrive quietly, hidden inside frustration, confusion, or fear. I remember standing in a place in life where nothing was making sense, goals felt distant, people felt unpredictable, and life felt like a cycle repeating itself again and again without progress. And then it hit me, nothing changes until I change. Not the world, not people, not my past, not my conditions. Only me. This realization is the core of the one lesson I want to share with you today. Your inner world is the command center of your entire life. The thoughts you repeat, the beliefs you protect, the emotions you justify, and the standards you accept, these build the foundation of your reality. The moment you decide to take responsibility for your inner state, life begins to shift. You stop blaming, you stop waiting, you stop hoping for something external to save you, because you finally realize that the power to rise, rebuild, and reinvent has always been within you. And once that truth settles in your heart, everything else finally begins to make sense. There comes a point where you understand that nothing in this world can defeat a person who has mastered their inner dialogue. You could lose money, lose people, lose opportunities, lose direction, but if you do not lose yourself, you have lost nothing permanently. This understanding became the bridge between who I was and who I wanted to be. The story moves forward with a simple daily realization: every reaction you have is chosen, every belief you hold is installed, and every limitation you feel is learned. And what is learned can always be unlearned. When a challenge shows up, the untrained mind asks, "Why is this happening to me?" But the awakened mind asks, "What is this trying to teach me?" That shift, from victimhood to ownership, becomes the defining mark of transformation. And once that shift happens, you begin to see that life is not controlling you, life is responding to you. Your energy, your choices, your consistency, your state of mind, these are the magnets shaping your destiny. This is why, if I could only teach you one thing, it would be the mastery of your inner world, because everything else in life is simply a reflection of it. The next part of this journey is about recognizing the invisible battles you fight daily, battles no one sees, but ones that determine the quality of your life. The battle with doubt whenever you think you're not enough. The battle with hesitation when your dreams ask you to take a risk. The battle with fear every time you stand at the doorway of change. And above all, the battle with the old version of yourself who wants things to stay exactly as they are. I learned that growth is never comfortable, because growth requires surrender, surrendering old habits, old narratives, and old identities. You cannot step into the future while holding on to a past version of yourself. The one lesson I wish I could place directly into your heart is this: your identity creates your destiny. If you want a different life, become a different version of yourself. Shift your standards. Raise your expectations. Replace your I can't with I must. Life responds to who you decide to become, not to who you've been. Once I deeply understood this, the world that felt heavy began to feel lighter, because I realized the only weight I was carrying was the old me. And then comes the moment where awareness meets action. All understanding, all wisdom, all insight is meaningless if not lived. I had to confront myself, my excuses, my comfort zones, my lack of discipline, my desire for quick results, and my fear of failing. And every time I took responsibility, every time I chose discipline over comfort, every time I stopped negotiating with my potential, I felt myself evolving. This is how inner power grows, not through motivational speeches or temporary inspiration but through continuous self-honesty. When you realize that your habits shape your future far more than your intentions, you begin to live differently. When you understand that small daily choices build massive long-term results, you stop waiting for the right time and start making the time right. And the deeper truth I discovered is that success is not something you chase, it is something you attract by becoming the kind of person who deserves it. This is the heart of the one lesson: your inner standards define your outer life. Raise the standard, and the world rises with it. But every transformation attracts resistance. The moment you decide to grow, life will test your commitment. Friends may not understand. Family may doubt you. Your routines may try to pull you back. Your mind may whisper old fears. Growth demands resilience. It demands that you stand firm in your new identity even when the world around you hasn't caught up yet. I learned that every setback carries a message, every delay carries a lesson, and every challenge carries a version of you that you have not met yet. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. And once you learn to see challenges as training rather than torture, you unlock an inner freedom that cannot be shaken. This is why mastering your inner world is the most important lesson, because the world outside will always shift, but your inner strength can anchor you to stability, clarity, and purpose. And once you build that strength, you stop fearing change because you finally trust yourself to handle whatever comes next. As the journey continued, I realized that the one lesson also carries a responsibility, because once you control your inner world, you begin to realize how powerful you truly are. You begin to shape your own destiny with intention instead of accident. You start choosing the people who surround you, the thoughts you feed your mind, the emotions you allow to stay, and the dreams you dare to pursue. You understand that life is not happening out there, it is happening through you. And suddenly, you stop settling. You stop shrinking. You stop apologizing for wanting more. You stop seeking validation because you finally validate yourself. This is the moment the story shifts from struggle to empowerment, from confusion to clarity. You understand that you do not need permission to live boldly. You do not need a perfect plan to begin. You only need one powerful decision, the decision to become the master of your inner world. And with that decision, everything else begins to align. So if I could only teach you one thing, just one lesson to carry for the rest of your life, it would be this: your inner world creates your outer world. Master your thoughts, and you master your direction. Master your emotions, and you master your choices. Master your beliefs, and you master your destiny. This story, your story, and every human story is shaped by the invisible forces within. When you shift your internal state, you shift the trajectory of your life. Today, right now, you hold the power to rewrite your future, not by changing the world but by changing yourself. And the moment you own that power, you stop living as a passenger and start living as the creator of your life. This is the truth I learned through years of struggle, reflection, and transformation. And this is the one lesson I would give you if I could give you nothing else: master yourself, and you will master your life. The world opens doors for those who open the doors within.